Hello, this is EGR 150 engineering disaster presentation, and I decided to do the St. Francis Dam. So first of all, what was the St. Francis Dam and who designed it? The St. Francis Dam was a 205 feet concrete gravity arch dam that was located in San Francisco Canyon that could hold a water capacity of around 12.3 billion gallons of water, which was unheard of at this time. The dam was built between 1924 and 1926 and was created by William Mulholland. He was not a formally trained engineer, but he was a self-taught Irish immigrant who rose rapidly in engineering that prior to building the Francis Dam, built the Los Angeles Aqueduct, a 233-mile engineering marvel. About a decade later, he designed, oversaw, constructed, and was one who approved the St. Francis Dam entirely. And just a note, I put there was no independent engineering review, which was common at this time, but today would be viewed as a big red flag in engineering. The dam's purpose was to store water for Los Angeles Aqueduct and provide water for the growing city of LA, which at this time urbanization was a major thing. So William was kind of put into a time crunch, and so which probably like created a lot of the issues that I'm about to talk about. Um, Another note is the dam was opened in May 26 and actually held up until March 1928 when it collapsed catastrophically in one of the worst engineering disasters in American history. Um, this disaster killed more than 400 people and destroyed entire communities. So I first want to point out the two pictures I have on the right. As you can see, just this sheer amount of damage and wreckage that this dam caused. As you can see, only like one piece of the dam is even left, and like the environment around it is just destroyed. Um, so I'm going to talk about why it failed. The main cause for this engineering disaster was that it was built on unstable geology, my bad. The dam was built on two problematic rock types, one of which was a weak silk flake rock, which easily shares when saturated with water, which is kind of ironic because you're building a dam and which has 12.3 billion gallons of water. This is just a very huge red flag, very bad. The other rock type was uh, also uh, softens and swells when wet, which is also another huge red flag when you're building a dam because, again, it held 12 billion gallons of water. Um, it was also prone to landslides, which is not suitable for heavy loads. Well, when you're building a dam that holds 12.3 billion gallons of water, that's not really good. You need it to hold very heavy loads. Um, During construction, the dam was raised 20 feet, but the base instability calculations were not updated, which made the dam prone to collapsing, which was a major engineering mistake. Again, a very big red flag. There was no drainage or uplift control inside the dam, which created upward pressures, which reduced the friction between the dam and its foundation. At the time, the uplift control inside was not really a crazy. It was not a thing really, but like today it'd be looked at as like the dam would not pass any inspections without it. Um, Another major reason it failed was warning signs were ignored by engineer William in the leading days to its collapse, which is kind of funny because he inspected the dam the morning of the collapse and said it was safe. He saw some warning signs, but he just shrugged them off as normal seepage rather than looking into it, which is a huge red flag because if you just take minor stuff as just nothing, I mean, that could result into something bigger, which it did. One engineer, another reason it failed was William had all authority and there was no independent review. which is kind of unheard of at nowadays. William Mulholland was the designer, approver, inspector, and final design maker, which again, he was in that time crunch, and having to do all that is just a lot of work. And I can see why, like, see how all these design slips got like over passed by, and he didn't uh notice them. There was also no outside engineers, no geologists reviewing the site, and no peer review, um, which is all an engineering red flag. So, what can engineers learn from this? Geology and site assessment are critical. Engineers must understand the foundation and rock and soil conditions they're building on. Like in this example, where they had two different rock types that were holding the dam up, but they were both prone to uh, like wet conditions. And when you're building a dam, again, that's just not the ideal conditions you want to build on. It was also one of them was also prone to like landslides, which is not good either. Design changes must be fully reassessed. So, like in this one, the dam's height was changed without widening the base. Again, another problem. We can learn from that. Um, Drainage and uplift control are essential. The dam had no internal drainage or uplift release system, which kind of created a lot of leakage and uh, pressure on the dam, which made it ultimately collapse. Another thing we can learn is warning signs must be taken seriously. Engineers must listen to the structure, not just ignore little normal uh you might think it's normal problems, but it couldn't you should take it serious just so it doesn't result into something like this. Observe signs are red flags, uh, not normal behavior. Independent review and peer checks save lives, like in this project where only William did everything pretty much. And engineering projects must include independent review, especially for structures that can endanger lives. Another major thing, because I would believe most of this wouldn't have happened if it was inspected by like other professionals, and not just him having to build it all in like a very time crunch because of the urbanization at the time. And yeah, that is EGR 150 engineering disaster presentation. Thank you.